I've been a lifeguard with State Park since 1991. I became a peace officer in 1997, and so I've been doing it since then, yeah. My first notice of swimmers being in trouble at Wrights Beach was a radio call from our dispatch saying that there was 3 people in the water at Wrights Beach being swept out to sea. Wrights Beach is one of our most deadly beaches. It's also one of our most beautiful beaches, so regardless of the weather and what the surf is doing, we tend to get a lot of folks there. I think we've documented over 130 drownings at that beach alone. I got in my patrol car. Wrights Beach from our Salmon Creek office is about 4 miles away, so I drove straight there, and as I was coming down the hill, I got a glimpse of the beach, and I could see a small crowd had gathered on the beach, and I saw one of the victims in the water. I didn't see all 3 at that time. The temperature was about 49 degrees, which is on par for that time of the year. That's why we wear wetsuits to mitigate the cold water. But certainly anything over 20 and 30 minutes would, I think, be considered life-threatening. As I went out there, the first victim I saw was a female, and she was more or less straight off of my vehicle where I parked. So I got to her, and I secured her in my rescue tube, and I decided not to bring her back to the beach, which we would commonly do to get them out of the water. The surf had increased in size, and I did not think that I could safely negotiate coming back into the beach with her without making her situation worse. So I held on to her as I swam towards the other 2 victims. I got to the other 2 victims. It was a small boy, and I remember he had kind of a headlock around the adult that was floating on his back. So I told him, hey, help's here. This is what you need to do, and I tried to give them directions so they could stay afloat and keep their mouths above the water. There is some large outcroppings further to the north off of Wrights Beach, and since I now had 3 victims in one tube, I knew that time was actually working against us, and I wanted to get the female and the small boy out of the water. So my initial plan was to swim towards those rocks, get them out of the water, and put them on those rocks. And I'd been in a similar situation where we were in the water for an extended period of time, so I knew that as long as I could keep them afloat and keep them alive, that help was coming. Oh, it felt really good. And probably the best feeling was when I saw the 2 motor lifeboats from the Bodega Bay Coast Guard Station, Bodega Bay, coming to the rescue. What happened was the sheriff's helicopter ended up coming out to the Coast Guard motor lifeboat, and they do a process called a long line rescue. So each one of us was taken off individually. I was the last one to get taken off the boat. So once they were on the ground, everyone either was transported by helicopter or ambulance to a hospital. So once I got back to the beach, they were already gone. Yeah, to the best of my ability, they all made a full recovery, and they're doing well.